Millennials are the wave of the future. As this influential group of consumers grows, so does the need to engage with and receive knowledge about where our food comes from and how it is grown and raised.
It's been a really interesting time, especially these last several years, to engage with consumers one-on-one. And that's where it seems we can gain the most trust. When I can sit and visit with them, whether it's in a grocery store or perhaps in an airplane seat or at an organized event, when they get to know me as a person and how we handle our animals and why we may use some of the products we do or some of the methods, all of a sudden we have a lot more common ground.
They're getting smarter. They want to know where their food is grown. They want to know why we grow things the way we do. And they want to be more informed about the foods that they're eating and giving to their families.
Research from the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance shows that while consumers trust farmers and ranchers, they are less likely to trust farming and ranching practices. More farmers and ranchers need to be involved in the conversation to help consumers better understand what goes into making their food.
Over the years that I've been representing a national organization, I've had the opportunity to meet people that really have never met a farmer. The consumer wants to talk to the farmer. They want to understand that what we're doing is safe for our families so that they know the food that they're feeding their family is safe also. So as my wife Lynn prepares today's meal that we're going to have, I just want to point out that the beef comes from a friend of mine. I sell them corn that I grow here in Newburgh, and Sid feeds this to his beef. The bacon was produced by my cousins at Hancock Family Farms. Lynn is making sweet corn that we grew at our farm here in Newburgh. We enjoy this corn all year long.
When you visit with consumers, invite them to your place, perhaps have a bunch of bloggers over for lunch and go out to the pastures or into the cattle pens, and they get to see what farmers are truly doing on their farms and ranches.
As consumers' demand for sustainably grown food intensifies, farmers and ranchers are embracing new technologies in order to become more efficient and environmentally conscious.
Another advancement in terms of animal nutrition and efficiency in particular is some animal nutrition trackers or electronic devices that are placed on animals that match up to the feeding area, those are feeding stations those animals can go to. Sometimes animals will literally just eat out of boredom. We're able to prevent that, not utilize feed that doesn't need to be used, and keep that animal especially healthy. This is particularly important when developing bulls because you don't want them to get too fat. We've also learned that very calm handling, quiet handling of the animals when we're loading, transporting, sorting, those sorts of things makes a big difference.
There's a multitude of things that we've changed in the last 10 years. Every tractor is equipped with a GPS guidance system. My fertilizer placement is done precisely where I want it to go. Each row can shut off so I don't plant the rows twice. I'm using less seed. And my sprayer is equipped with automatic shut-off on the booms and GPS guidance. So I'm putting my product exactly where I want it to go every time without question. And as I live here in a rural area that is on the verge of an urban sprawl, the people that drive by and see me in my fields know that I'm doing a good job, and they're not concerned anymore that some residual spray or fertilizer placement is going in the wrong place.
Today's smart farm strives to be sustainable by utilizing science and technology to be faster and more efficient while growing and producing the world's best food supply.
Farming practices and technologies have changed so much through the years. Today, not only do we have better equipment, but we can look at farms as smart farms.
What smart farming means to me is that I'm using the tools that are available to me in the industry, whether it's seed traits, whether it's chemicals and fertilizer, whether it's the equipment that I drive. I'm making sure that I'm enhancing the productivity of each aspect of how and why I farm.
From water conservation and animal welfare to sustainability and habitat conservation, smart farming touches every aspect of farming technology today.
Everywhere that I farm, I have a river or a stream within close proximity. So when it comes to water conservation, I want to make sure that if there's any erosion or runoff that comes off my field, that I've minimized that. Water quality means everything to a farmer. We're using less fuel, we're using less trips across the field, and that's making us smarter and more efficient. A
concept brought about by the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance, The Smart Farm brings the farm to consumers using 360-degree videos, influential consumer events, food dialogues, and interactive lesson plans.
In my trips to DC and all across the country with national organizations like U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance, I have been a spokesman for how farmers farm and why we farm the way we do. We've invited the EPA down here. We've had them down here twice. We talked about GMOs and technology on the farm. We talked about waters of the U.S. and how that would affect a farmer. We've also had Capitol Hill staffers come down. A lot of those staffers had never been on a farm, and they work for representatives in D.C. that don't represent farming communities. So it's up to people like me to get that word out, to let them know that what we're doing is safe, what we're doing is the right thing, and what we're doing is environmentally friendly. So my family has taken the initiative to invite people down here that don't normally come to a farm. And when they spend the day with us and see that we're just regular people like they are, and we wouldn't do anything that's going to harm the soil, the environment, or water quality, they have a better understanding of what I do, and they actually appreciate it when they leave.
For more information, visit www.fooddialogues.com.